This looks like a two-door Toyota Camry. And this over here looks like a majestic 1987 Toyota Supra. What's up, y'all? In today's video, I got some Supra stuff coming at you because I finally got some wheels for the Supra. Not gonna reveal what they are just yet, but I'm working on some things to get these wheels to line up just right. Honestly, it's kind of a retro mod. You'll see. I'm not gonna give away too much for the wheels. We'll get into that when I go to show you guys later in this video. But for now, I wanna address some things with the Supra that, well, I haven't been driving it currently. And the reason for that is because I took it to work the one day and on my way home, it just started overheating on me. And if anyone knows anything about the 7M Supra, that is detrimental. That is like the worst thing you can do for this motor, is basically overheat it, because obviously they have head gasket issues already as it is. And I don't even want to play with anything regarding low oil pressure or coolant or anything of that nature. So I got it home, took a look over it real quick, and after doing a little bit of digging around and stuff, I found out that one of my fans isn't working. I know that the fans are obviously aftermarket. They're Mishimoto fans. There's two of them on a Mishimoto radiator. And in all honesty, I've never been a fan of Mishimoto stuff. When it comes to something as crucial as your cooling system, I'd rather not take the risk, especially on something like this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, since it's already on the car, I'm going to continue using it. However, I'm going to get it working right. And the problem that I found was that one of the radiator fans was not turning on at all. It's completely dead, it's dead in the water. So I only have the AC fan on the front and the one fan on the back side. So I have a pusher and one puller turning on for this radiator. Apparently that's not good enough, especially in this 90+ degree heat with like 100% humidity. Did a little bit more digging. And well, there's some wiring stuff going on with it. I got into it and saw some stuff that I really don't like. Today, I'm gonna be taking care of that radiator fan. I'm going to be fixing the wiring. I really need to get a fan shroud on it. So I'm sure in the near future, I'll go get some aluminum and we'll make a fan shroud for the Supra. The problem is, this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult because there's two fans on it. So that's double the amount of holes that I have to cut out. Anyways, let's get into this. I'm gonna start with fixing the wiring on this car and then we'll get into the wheels, the good stuff, because I'm very excited about this. But first, before we get into today's video, be sure to head on over to the website, billybuilds.com. I got fresh merchandise on there. Well, kind of fresh. These were actually just put on there a couple weeks ago. They are up and ready to be purchased. I got some other ones that are not here in front of me right now. This has kind of been the go-to. It is actually my favorite. And then I also have this one, which actually has my own car on it. So head on over, check out the website. I'll put the link down in the description below. But let's get into today's video, guys. Okay, so the fan in question is this one over here. This one here works fine. Turns on, runs, the whole 9 yards, whatever. A couple things I really don't like here. This is like some janky wiring. Don't do stuff like this. Like, this is just stupid. It's aggravating and it's excessive. All of this. I mean, it was tucked in there, don't get me wrong, but we have a relay, okay, proper. We have a fuse before the relay, which, okay, proper. We have a fuse going to a ground that, and this is why the fan was not turning on, because of this right here, because this is supposed to be grounded and it was just hanging loose down here. Now, for some reason, I mean, I understand, but it's kind of redundant, honestly. Wait, why is this like this? Why is this does not make any sense at all. So this tiny little wire is going to this bigger wire, which goes through this fuse, which gets crimped back to this, which goes back to this, which gets taped together with the ground, which, okay, it's got a pretty good ground, which goes through this tiny little wire into the fan. I mean, I get it. It's the same, roughly the same size as the fan wiring, but come on, guys. We're trying to power a fan to cool an entire 3-liter motor here. Like, why? Don't do this. I mean, I'll probably end up reusing this relay with this little janky thing, with this crappy joint right here. Like, look, it's broken wire anyways. Like, I don't, yeah, we're gonna redo this, put a proper ground in and get that fan working. And honestly, by the time I'm done with this, I'd be willing to bet that that fan there blows faster and harder than the other fan. Hurts to think about. This right here is why it's best to buy cars that are mostly stock. I would consider this mostly stock, but somebody who shouldn't be doing wiring got involved with the wiring. I don't know where to start. I get it. You gotta fix the car, you gotta get it running, but man, there is a proper way and a wrong way to do it, and this is not, this is ridiculous. Okay, so to test the relay, I have a power probe here. I'm gonna supply it 12 volts to right here, and the fan should kick on, which it does. That tells me that the circuit overall is correct. However, the only thing I'm concerned about is what the power is tied into down here that could cause the fan to turn on. So I don't know if that is the fan circuit or if it's something else. Okay, so I got all of this mess taken care of over here. The relay, the fuse. What I ended up doing was wiring the 12 volt directly to the alternator instead of the battery because, well, probably change out the battery more often than the alternator, and this looks very clean right here the way I have it connected to my alternator. These two were tied together like this, and it's like, well, this is supposed to be grounded to the chassis anyways, why not just put it right there, you know, where it's supposed to be, more than likely. So I'm gonna go ahead and simplify that because this is completely redundant and ridiculous. Okay, so before we put the new wheels on the car, I'm going to go ahead and measure my ride height as it sits right now. The reason for that is because we will also be lowering the car today. Yes, it is monster trucking right now. Just to say, I'm going to lower it, but before I do that, obviously, I'm going to measure how high my fender is off the ground. That way, when I go to lower it, I know how much I actually lowered it by. So, fender height to ground is going to measure roughly 26.75 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the rear just to see where this one's sitting, which theoretically it should be roughly the same size, but it is, yeah, I'd say it's about the same, within 1/8 of an inch. 27.3, about 27 7/8. Oh wait, 27? No, 26 7/8, which, let's go ahead and get these wheels off, and I'm gonna test fit the new wheels right now. Ready? All right, here we go. I know, they're factory OEM Toyota wheels, but shout out to Victor at Induction Performance for giving me the hookup on these. It's very period correct. I honestly have a thing for OEM wheels. I'll probably end up getting some wheel spacers of some sort. Now, supposedly these are NA Mark IV wheels. Maybe some of you Toyota nuts will know a little bit more about them than I do. From everything I've seen, these are a little bit thinner than the TT wheels. They're not the fat 5 spokes, and they have the little dimples on the center caps, whereas the fat 5 spokes have a flush mount center cap. Brakes look really good. I should probably lube them and flush them. Who am I kidding? So I've decided I'm actually gonna go ahead and lower this thing right now. Got it lowered substantially more than what it was. Moment of truth is, ta-da! I don't really think that's any better, y'all. Yeah, I don't I don't see much improvement. This car is raised so high up. Let's see what we got here. So it's certainly lower than the front. It does look remarkably better, but it's not quite where I would like it to be. I think what I'm gonna do here is probably lower the spring, which will bump up the spring rate, obviously. But if I could get another inch or so out of the spring, I could then lower the adjustment part of the coilover another inch. So let me try that real quick. This is taking a lot of work. I don't want the car necessarily sitting on its butt, but I do want it substantially lower. We're still pretty high up, but it's much better than it was. If I measured the front fender, it would be 5 inches, and I'm now down to about 1.75 inches. Okay, so now to measure the offset that we'll need, it's really just a matter of putting this on the rim, looking straight down. You know what? There's a better way of doing this. Yes, I'm using an electrical wire. Yes, fishing line would be better, but this is how I'm gonna do it, and y'all can live with it. Right about 7/8 of an inch, a little bit more than 7/8. Probably right about 20mm spacer will look really good with this. I would even go as far as saying a 1-inch offset wheel spacer would be perfect. Simply because it's usually better to make the car fit the wheel than the wheel fit the car. It looks better in the end anyways. But you have to be careful. There's a 50-50 with that statement, because going too far and you end up looking like a stance boy, and we don't want that. I may try to get this lower on another day, but for now I think that's just gonna be what it is. I wanna get them all even and then go from there. Okay, so the first wheel is now done. I'm now pretty much gonna do the same thing to every other corner on the car. Swap out the wheels, lower the car, put it back on the ground, did all the ride heights the same, and then I'll get back with you guys after that. Okay guys, I'm leveling out the Supra right now. I'm getting ready to put all the wheels back on and tighten everything back up. Wheel spacers just showed up. So we got some 25mm wheel spacers to go all around on these. I think it'll bring the wheels out perfectly to the fender, at least in the rear. The front's maybe a little bit under flush, but that's no big deal. I'd rather it be a little bit under flush in the front anyways. Real quick here, you can take a very good look. It is just about perfect with that fender right now on this side. And this side, oh, it's gonna look so good. I'm so happy with that. Yeah, we like it. We like it a lot. Now I just have to do the other 3 wheels. If you see here, you can see what I mean by the front is a little bit under flush, so it doesn't stick out quite as far as the rear. But you know what? I'm not going for like a slam look here. I just want it to look proper. And now just to compare, this looks like a 2-door Toyota Camry. And this over here looks like a majestic 1987 Toyota Supra. Perfect. Okay, so now that the wheels are on, to be honest, I have not changed the oil in this car since I got it. I'm gonna be putting in this car the exact same oil that I put in my Z, which is the VR1 20W50. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. Oh yeah, you guys, this is so much better. It's like, it's night and day difference with the handling of the car. The body roll is, obviously you can't completely get rid of body roll, but it is like nothing compared to what it used to be, which is fantastic. Obviously the car still drives the same because we didn't really do anything with any of the engine components, but overall it rides just as smooth as it did, I would say. Maybe a little bit stiffer because we did stiffen the springs in the rear. Which isn't a problem. That's kind of what you want. Like, I didn't want the thing driving like a sailboat. So I'd say we've successfully completed that. Car drives smooth. It still drives mostly straight. It really needs an alignment now, obviously. One thing I will say that is like way better than before, believe it or not, and this sounds kind of silly, is the oil pressure. The oil pressure is easily about 5 to 10 psi more than it was before. As you know, I did the oil change on it. I don't know what oil was in it before, but whatever it was, I assume it was something cheap, because based off of this paperwork right here, the guy who had it before me and probably before him didn't really know what they were doing. It's literally a regular automotive shop that was checking out the wheel bearings or something on it, and I assume they probably put some generic like 5W30, 10W30 oil in it. So obviously with the thicker oil, we get a little bit more oil pressure, which is really good for these motors. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to smash that like button for me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time. Also, don't forget to check out the website, billybuilds.com. Go get yourself some merchandise, get yourself some Z32 stuff. I'm still working on the Supra shirts, you guys. It's coming. It's just a long process, and it takes a lot of time to put into this. So do me a favor, go check out the website, support your boy, support the channel, check out the website. If anything, just share the video. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care.